Headphones are in. I have
Are we
clicked start
grabbing my
streaming on the
bubbly
software,
soon?
and I believe that we are in fact live.
Put my thing on.
Password. There we go. And
Start the theme song.
the theme song is us talking as I get on
We're
here.
like 60 minutes. We don't have a theme song.
As I
We have
get
to
on.
have somebody in the comment section probably does music. Somebody make us a song.
Okay.
So no one told you that the life is. I don't know.
All right. Well, I'm putting it out there to all of our my wonderful followers on Twitter. On the Twitter. And
Twitter.
the Twitter.
Let them know.
And
We're about
gonna
to go live.
put it
Oh,
out
we
there
are
on putting it out there on Facebook as well for the.
So is it Marks or Max this week?
We're
going Marks.
Well, I think we're going Marks. But hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Just Us Marks Wrestling Recap Show. It is Revenge of the 6th. And yes, it is, we've got kind of an interesting week this week, especially because,
Wait, is it not Return of the 6th? I thought it was Revenge of the 5th and then Return of the 6th.
I thought it was, May the 4th, Cinco de Mayo, then Revenge of the 6th,
I don't care. Do people even know what Cinco de Mayo really is? Because it's not
Yeah.
Mexican Independence Day.
Well,
I'm Hispanic. Don't be racist.
Actually, what it is apparently in Mexico they loved Hellman's mayonnaise, and then there was supposed to be a big shipment of Hellman's mayonnaise that was supposed to go down to Mexico, and then the boat sank, and they were so devastated in the country that there's a national day of mourning, and it was yesterday. It was called Cinco de Mayo.
I hate you guys.
If Michelle's watching, we are very sorry.
This is the most offended I've ever been being a part of the show.
Oh my god.
Moving on.
If you've never seen this show before,
this will probably be your last time watching.
This is the Just Us Marks Wrestling Recap Show, and I met these gentlemen at All In. We tell dad jokes like that one.
Michelle's on her way, so she didn't hear the joke. So
we're all gonna get letters, right? We're getting the All In tattoo. I'm gonna be A, you're gonna be L, Easy will be L. Jeremy can be
I'm not
I,
a tattoo person.
Jerry could be N or N.
Oh,
and then when we all stand together, they'll say All In.
Yes.
Or I'm not a tattoo person.
But we met these guys at All In. We became friends through wrestling. We love sharing our love of pro wrestling with other passionate wrestling fans like all of you out there. However, just like all of you out there, we are just fans. Our opinions are no different from that of any other fans out there, because
nor is our humor.
Nor is our humor. Because at the end of the day, we're not insiders, we're not wrestlers, we're just marks, so we avoid the insider terms. And, it is very interesting this week, because probably one of the biggest talking points because of Anna Fight Underground last week, and me attending that show, and us doing our normal live stream on Friday, where we kind of hit the biggest talking points of the week, or one of the ones that would subsequently be a huge talking point this week. Michelle's in the house.
Michelle's down for tattoo. Yeah, we're getting All In tattoo. Everyone gets a letter.
I'm not getting a tattoo.
We'll get it on our middle fingers. That way, when we all flip off the camera at the same time, it says All In Chicago. So we got to get a lot of guys, a lot of people.
I'm not getting Chicago anything tattooed on my body, but that's besides the point. Something else, just to be sure, there's a couple people that you're saying should get those tattoos. All In's associated with AEW, and they would, Bully Ray would tell them not to get the tattoo because AEW's bad, right?
Oh God, Bully Ray! I'm not going to let Bully Ray bully me in my life anymore.
I'll just ask Bully Ray, how's ECW doing?
So she didn't go to All In, so you're out. We'll get tattoos later, but not All In. This is for the All In boys, the All In crew.
I am thinking about getting an All In tattoo, but not on my neck.
No, we're doing it.
No, I'm not doing tattoos. I mean, serious for the show in real life. No tattoo for me.
Easy for sure. We'll talk him into it. Easy says no now, but just wait after a little bit of the bubbly. He'll be begging for
when
more
when he has his
I'm
first
already having
alcoholic
my bubbly.
experience.
Thankfully, it's non-alcoholic bubbly.
But
Oh, yeah.
yeah, so it is just kind of our biggest talking point from last week was Daniel Bryan, and like we've already talked about that, so we got to talk about the biggest talking point this week, the biggest return of all time. Eva Marie is back in the WWE.
Evolution.
Evolution.
Freaking Marie! Oh my god.
Evolution is a mystery, and we're gonna talk about Eva Marie. So, like, I mean, fucking first female to win the world title, right? She's beating Lashley. Like, I mean, like that's what's gonna happen, right?
God.
She is going to take the women's division by storm. Becky who? Eva.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Becky Lynch can just stay at home, as far as I'm concerned. Eva Marie is back.
Eva Marie is here to stay, and goddamn, man, this is just another reason why I am not watching WWE right now.
What are you talking about? This is another reason why AEW is just complete trash compared to like how great fucking WWE is. I mean, son of a bitch.
I literally don't even have words. It's like, okay, you just gave a trash bag release to one of the all-time greatest, if not future Hall of Famer, Mickie James, and in return, freaking Eva Marie, she can't do anything. Listen, I get it. She's probably a very amazing human being. Don't get me wrong. You're not a wrestler. I'm sorry, you're not a wrestler.
That's what I was going to say, though. To be fair, let's give her a chance because I at least want to see if she improved at all. She talks a lot about it. She seems like she's a fan of it on the podcast. I've heard about it, whatever. And she's had a lot of time to practice, but she's honestly, she was one of the worst.
That would actually be a lot better. I would actually be like,
she does.
She's coming back. NXT coming back. Wow. Okay. But no, she's coming back on Raw. It's like,
Well, I mean. I don't know. Like, all kidding and sarcasm and joking aside, like, I don't get this. Like Easy said, I know, like, Satan's telling me it's cold down there because me and Easy are on the same page. But, like, you just released all these different people. You released all the, like, released Mickie James, so it's like, what is Eva Marie gonna bring to the table that Mickie James could not? What's Eva Marie, like, even cut that last part out, what's Eva Marie gonna bring to the table?
Emelina?
Just her looks. And that, I don't, because what has she done since she left, too? She wasn't, like, on a TV show or nothing. So
I didn't even know, like, hold on, like, didn't they release her,
she can't be banking on her celebrity. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, it was like 2018, 2019. Maybe?
She was at WrestleMania 31.
Right.
31, guys.
I want to say at least 3 years ago. At least 2-3 years ago. But still, in that time, she hasn't really done anything to develop herself at all. So she's coming in just banking on her star power? No.
Okay.
Banking on her.
She left the company in 2017.
Really? She wasn't even that big of a star. And I'm not like trying to be a jerk, but like, you know, this isn't like Eva Marie coming back is not like Trish Stratus coming back, or Lita coming back, or even like or Beth Phoenix coming back.
Or inevitably when Becky comes back,
right?
Because she was a good wrestler. Where it's like, you know, Eva Marie coming back is like to do what? To fucking I don't know. It's for a very specific audience, I think, but this is not. I am not a fan.
I'm not that audience.
Plus, no. Who stands on a goddamn Ferrari with heels? I would be yelling at that bitch. Get off my goddamn car.
Oh yeah, remember those unfortunate incidents where she just avoided wrestling because like the wardrobe malfunction, broken ankle, like
But yeah, well, my point was, it's not like, because normally people go away and then they go do a reality show or they go do, you know, something. So when they come back eventually, they'll be like, oh, this is reality show star Eva Marie, or people will be like, oh, I'm going to watch now because new audience that she just gained comes and follows her. She hasn't done anything. She did podcasts and stuff like that, but like nothing that like a mainstream audience would be like, oh, she's back. Let me go catch her on Raw now. But that just makes Raw one more step worse. Where it's like, fuck, I'm glad I didn't catch it. Heard about it, and I was just like, man.
Oh, okay. So I was wrong. It wasn't 31, but the last big thing she did was she was part of Team Total Divas at WrestleMania 32. Wow, even better.
WrestleMania 32.
Wooly,
Best
he's playing with
WrestleMania.
it. Hold on. Let me fight my dog. I'll be right back.
So from there, I guess we'll go from there. We'll briefly. I'll briefly have a small commentary on New Japan because I think I'm gonna. I know I said this last time. It just couldn't come to fruition. But I'm gonna try and do a full on state of New Japan stream. But
Yeah.
I think right now NJPW does not stand for New Japan Pro Wrestling. It stands for No Japan Pro Wrestling because not one of their heavyweight titles is held by a Japanese wrestler.
Whew.
Why? What happened?
Well, and I hate Jay White. Like I'm not wavering on that. I still am not a fan of his wrestling and not a fan of the godhood status that everybody seems to think he deserves. But on the flip side of things, like he beat Tanahashi for the Never title, and I'm like, that's a good role for Jay, and it wasn't a bad match. And but Will Ospreay retained against Shingo, which I guess Will just won the belt, so I can't complain about that. At least hey, stop flip flopping the title, okay. But it's just like, okay, so all their champions in the heavyweight division are Gaijin. You got Guerrillas of Destiny as tag champions. You got Moxley as the U.S. champion. You got Jay as the Never champion, and you got Will Ospreay as the IWGP champion.
You also got Tom Lawler as the strong openweight champion.
That one I'm not so upset about because that's part of the American branch of New Japan in the United States. So I'm not mad. I'm
just looking at their titles right now.
Yeah, so I'm not that one's like, okay, it's not really supposed to be on a Japanese guy, but like literally every other belt in New Japan is on a Gaijin, which it's like, everybody's gonna say it's great. Everybody's gonna say that's a great idea because, well, fucking Jay White's fucking Christ, and Will Ospreay's God, and John Moxley's John Moxley, and Guerrilla Destiny is Bullet Club. So fucking, what are you bitching about? Yeah, it's New Japan. They're the greatest thing in the world, and I'm like,
no, but I get what you're saying. It's like, where's the homegrown talent? But if they can't bank on Okada or Tanahashi or whatever forever,
Desperado as the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion.
I said the heavyweight division. It's No Japan Pro Wrestling.
But what I'm saying is, like, what are they waiting for in pulling the triggers on new Japanese stars? Where are the new Japanese stars at?
That's
actually, he's got a good point.
I think they kind of put a lot of eggs in Evil's basket that didn't exactly pay off, but that's only one guy. Yeah. They should have had more.
Where's Sonata? Fucking.
Okada, Ibushi.
But even names that you would...
Okada and Ibushi are not. They're like kind of established. That's kind of like saying like, well, why haven't they pulled the trigger on Moxley and Omega yet? You know what I mean?
Well, Ibushi should be like the top guy, but he's still. But like what I'm saying is, we shouldn't even be naming people. We should be having people
Ibushi should be their top guy right now, but they decided to take the belt off of him to give it to Will Ospreay for who knows how. Yeah. Why? And like my personal feelings.
And they have Young Lion. They have Young Lion pay-per-views or features all the time.
Everybody's been saying when they got to pull the trigger on Sonata. When they got to pull the trigger on Sonata. Well, we're all still waiting on that one. Like, the only thing that I'm looking forward to through New Japan is something that's going to be on AEW next week that's probably not going to result in any changes, but it's just going to be a damn good match. But we'll get to that in a minute.
You never know. We might have an upset.
Oh, they've been.
I want to watch that, Miss Ace, but I don't. I'll just have to get to it. It's like in the list of things. I love the comic book series of Invincible, so I definitely want to check out the new series there.
I want to try to. My brother recommended it, so I want to try to get into it. But I was going to say too, just for a laugh, they even have a Gaijin tag team take over TNA tag team belts with Finjuice. Where it's like, God damn it, New Japan, where's all your Japanese talent at?
Exactly, like this is a comment I made friend of the show, Charloco, who kind of sometimes he's like the fifth Beatle of the show, kind of tags in to talk New Japan with me. New Japan right now, the way I can describe the state of New Japan Pro Wrestling is New Japan Pro Wrestling is doing stories and putting the wrestlers in the top spots that they're not necessarily bad wrestlers, but they're almost like WWE in the sense of they'd rather put wrestlers in that spot for people that don't actually watch the show. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but that's what I don't like about it, because I'd rather watch New Japan and go, whoa, who's this new Japanese guy who's kicking fucking ass that I need to hear about, except for going, oh man, Will Ospreay's the champ? That's cool. But
that's the thing. Like
I mean, I never even heard of Okada until we had All In, and that's when I actually started following more.
Oh shit, you're lucky. That's tight.
Yeah. I was in the New Japan boat well before All In, but I get what you're saying. But here's the other thing. It's rather than to me, the Gaijin talent in New Japan are supposed to. You're supposed to be brought in to watch. You're brought in to see that talent, and then go oh hey, who's that Japanese guy? When I started following New Japan, I'll admit it was because of AJ. It's because of Bullet Club. So I'd watch AJ, I'd watch Bullet Club, and be like, oh fuck yeah, AJ's the champion. Oh hey, there's this Okada guy. Oh hey, who's Hiroshi Tanahashi? He's cool. Who's Minoru Suzuki? Oh, he's a bad motherfucker. And then
everyone knows Jushin Thunder Liger too.
Jushin Thunder Liger, yeah. Yuji Nagata, who we'll be talking about him later, but I remember him from WCW. All these different things, and it's oh hey, here are these guys that I'd heard of already. Here's these guys, I've heard of the Young Bucks. AJ's one of my all-time favorites, this, that, and the other. And then I see the Japanese talent, and I'm fuck yeah, I gotta keep following this as best as I can, because all these Japanese guys are great, in addition to all the Gaijin talent. Now it's just rather than using Jon Moxley or the Bullet Club, or Will Ospreay to go oh hey, you want to see Hiromu Takahashi? You want to see Kota Ibushi? You want to see Sonata? Do you want to see, all these other talents? It's just hey, Ospreay's the champion, so somebody who knows Will Ospreay can go, oh yeah, New Japan's good. Will Ospreay's the champion. It's oh hey, did you watch the match? No. Are you gonna watch it on the streaming service? I don't have the streaming service. Well, so how do you know New Japan's good? Well, they gotta be good. Will Ospreay's a champion. He's the fucking high-flyingest of the high flyers. It's gotta be the best, right?
Oh, God.
Oh, hey, Bullet Club's got 2 belts right now. Oh, man, it must be great. Oh, did you watch them? No, but, I bought the shirt at Hot Topics, so it's fucking, New Japan must be great, because, I bought their shirt there.
It's saying, we don't watch WWE, but Brock Lesnar's champion. WWE must be amazing if you got somebody like that as champ. Who barely shows up to work.
Right, well... Hey,
I just think...
Speaking of Brock Lesnar, what about the goddamn IWGP US champion? When's the last time he showed up to work? In New Japan. That's it.
Where the hell has Brock Lesnar even been?
He's chilling.
Out chilling with all his money
doing bad shit.
He's just tossing logs because I guess he's a farmer. He is legit as a farm, so he's just
he just goes to his farm.
I'm picturing him as a farm boy. It's oh god, get that mental image out of me.
Yeah, he was a legit.
I think he lives in Canada, easy, right? Don't they live in Canada?
Like Alaska or something. He lives where he's secluded and he has a farm and yeah.
Actually, I'm not kidding. I think he lives in Saskatchewan.
Oh really?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Hey, you should like him now, Easy. He lives in Canada.
No.
He moved to Canada because it's quiet. He can then he work out on his farm, run the farm with his wife and kids.
It's going back to the New Japan point. It's if
WWE
were to do this kind of shit, everybody'd be all pissy and bitchy and moany. But it's it's New Japan doing it, and that's Will Ospreay. Well, goddamn, best fucking thing in the world. 8 stars.
Well, but even WWE peppers in new talent every once in a while, whether it's an NXT call-up or whatever. I feel like Japan's running the same small roster forever, where it's where's the new people? Sorry. Sorry about that. Jesus Christ, that was gross. The reason why I started watching New Japan or fell in love with it to begin with is because I got tired of WWE. I wanted to switch over and watch something new. And then once I got over there, or once I saw New Japan stuff, I was like, oh wow, who are all this brand new people I haven't seen before?
Right.
And the Japanese guys were like the standouts. Or I didn't really care if Billy Gunn was over there at the time, or I didn't care
Right.
if if like Kenny Omega obviously like was a big draw at that, like, because I didn't catch it when it was Balor, but I caught it when Omega era, not AJ either, but Omega. Even then, I was like, okay, that's cool for the Bullet Club or the Young Bucks and stuff. That's cool for them. But yeah, let me see the Okada match, or let me see Tanahashi, or let me see Bushi, or let me see Naito, or let me see Suzuki, or let me see Ishii. Those are the standouts for me. But now it's like, well, now I've seen all those guys, and you're still featuring all those guys, and you're still, but who are the new people? Like, I need to see a new roster, new Japanese people, not just like how you're saying too, where it's all the notable champions right now aren't even Japanese. So it's like, where's all and if guys like Kenta can't necessarily spark a fire, or if guys like, just whoever that they put, like I said, Evil can't really, if they can't,
guys like
quote
Kenta can't
unquote,
spark
cut
a
the mustard or
fire
whatever.
if like the point blank, like they have all this hype, and then it's like, oh hey, this guy in AEW, yeah, he's better than Kenta. I mean, and that's
Right.
like, if this were, like if AEW like just made all their champions, all the former WWE guys, like if Jericho beat Darby, and you had like fucking just, I'm trying to think, like just like like fucking a random tag team from WWE just showed up, like if whatever, and then like out of the blue you have fucking like Roman Reigns show up and win the world title. Like, everybody be saying like, wow, that's kind of shitty of AEW. Like, they're kind of shitting on their homegrown guys. And now I get the vibe from New Japan, but nobody's like, at least in the circles that I see, nobody's kind of calling New Japan out on it, because they're like, well, but it's Will Ospreay. He's the best thing ever, But it's Jay White and
Also, New Japan
Girls
doesn't
Destiny.
have weekly shows.
Yeah. But like, I don't know. It's just like New Japan used to have like enough of the Western style of writing that it made me interested, and then like it was enough to keep me like kind of grip me in. But they kind of had their own way of doing things. I feel like, no pun intended, Gato's kind of gone a little all in on the Western style of doing things. It's like, I can get the Western style in WWE. Why would I want to watch it in New Japan?
Right. Yeah.
So, speaking of Western style and good wrestling and all that good stuff, NXT. Did you guys watch NXT this week?
I saw only the NXT women's tag match, which was wow.
Yeah, that was a good match, really good match. Also want to definitely point out, just so everybody can check out, because like I said in the past, like, what can you say about a good match other than check it out? Leon Ruff versus Isaiah Scott. Really, really damn fine match to open the show.
And who is going to be the perfect person to fight Karrion Kross for the NXT title?
Should we switch formats too? Because NXT comes on Tuesday now, right?
Right.
Are we? Is anyone here really, honestly, going to talk about Raw? Are we ever going to catch a Raw and be like, oh my god?
I don't think we'll ever take Raw unless it like.
I think we'll WWE, but just NXT, because that's
NXT. Because I'm down. I'm down to catch NXT on Tuesdays, but I'm not. You know what I mean? Like,
no,
to have something
I agree with you. I do think SmackDown's good enough that we could at least kind of talk about SmackDown and like at least in bits and pieces. And if something happens on Raw that's worth talking about, like, definitely we'll bring it up. But
we do got
like Evolution,
SmackDown tomorrow, which I'm actually kind of excited for. I want to know what they're doing.
Yeah, so I mean, like, definitely SmackDown's not a bad show. It's just not there. But it's like, yeah, definitely our in-depth analysis will go to NXT and AEW, with the exception of pay-per-view days
for the weekly shows.
Yeah, for the weekly shows, unless there's something like holy fucking shit. We got to talk about that. And pay-per-view predictions. We're still going to do those because those are fun.
And NXT is on the network, right?
No, it's on USA.
Oh shit.
What's the network?
You mean Peacock?
Peacock.
When I hear Peacock now, I just always think of, like Dale Jr. on his podcast going like, and then you can tune in to Peacock.
I fucking love Peacock, by the way. I've been watching so many movies and shit like that. Besides the TV content.
Another one thing to point out on NXT, this was actually really fun. Next week, thanks to Austin Theory telling Scarlett, you've got huge nails. Theory's got a
nice nails,
cross next week. Let the brutality begin.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
All right, so now everybody's here to
understand the way. It's like are you a cult or a group or what the hell are you?
But yeah, well, just so now or whatever, like next week, to be prepared. Next Tuesday, I'll watch NXT and then.
Okay.
Oh, I'm watching it just to watch Austin Theory get his ass.
Yeah, I'm down for all that. Let's.
There's no way you can't pay me at this point to watch Raw. Like,
No.
I'll fight you. Like if you make me watch Raw.
Yeah. I agree. Unless something happens that's worth talking about, which there really isn't, except for our sarcastic commentary.
Lesnar.
I mean, that's actually worth talking about.
Yeah.
The Brock Lesnar and The Rock both return on the same night to have a world title match for no reason. It's like,
they take the belt off of Lashley to put it on there to have that match. Okay, so it's Dynamite time. Let's bring the boom. Like the fuse and bring the boom. It is Dynamite time.
But in this case, the blood.
The blood and the gut. The blood and the guts and the. I'm gonna. Usually, the three of us, we have a group chat on, through text message, and we're usually like, as the show's going on, we're sharing thoughts and this, that, and the other. But Eric was busy, didn't get to watch the show live, so we made meticulous effort not to spoil anything. So unlike in weeks past where we're kind of dropping little things like, well, we'll talk about this a little, we'll talk about that a little, okay, we'll have more to discuss on the show. We're going into this completely blind, at least blind in terms of what each other thinks about it. Because we didn't want to spoil it for Eric, and we haven't been talking much today about it, so everything that we're discussing on this episode is completely fresh when it comes to this
hot take.
There might be some hot takes. So, but the first match was Kenny and Michael Nakazawa.
And
versus
Nakazawa, because
Nakazawa.
I don't get it.
What's up?
That's hilarious.
No, when it was Omega versus Omega and MT Nakazawa, because really it's not Michael Nakazawa. What? I don't know.
I don't know about that one either, but
of course, Don Callis being Don Callis, he says Omega, he ain't here. Because of course he would say that.
Michelle says she hates Nakazawa. Why is he MT? I didn't catch all that part. Well, I mean, is it a rib on QT? I don't know. I was gonna say what are they trying to make fun of in WWE? Because normally that's the go-to of who's the joke.
I'm sorry. What if his first name was MX Nakazawa? It'd be like MX. See? I don't know. Trying to make a bad joke.
I thought maybe it was IT, but
maybe
something like that, because he always has the
like a personal assistant or something. I don't know.
Yeah, is it a rib on QT? I don't know. But yeah, and then also this match, I don't dislike Michael Nakazawa, but I've also seen Michael Nakazawa not how we all know Michael Nakazawa. But I did not like this match that much. I get the point of it. They're trying to further something. They're trying to continue to establish the Elite as bad guys. I get it. It was literally a filler. It was a way to get Kenny and Mox on the card.
And also, are we ever going to see anybody from Impact? I mean, Kenny's got a huge bounty for his head for the Impact World title. Is no one really going to go after him or just invade AEW? Please. We've only seen NJPW come. Can I please see Impact? That's
Well,
not
you
Right.
the
mentioned
Brothers.
NJPW. I know they didn't do this till later in the episode, but let's talk about this now.
It's
So
like, well, but just imagine, like, we had Finn Juice coming out, actually saving Moxley and Kingston. Like, holy shit, it's Finn Juice. We literally have a almost Bullet Club Civil War on freaking AEW.
Finn Juice wasn't in the Bullet Club.
I thought they were. Never mind
No.
about that. Scratch that.
No, Finn Juice,
No.
Finn Juice definitely was not in the Bullet Club.
Okay, never mind. We have Finn Juice
Ray's
on
here
AEW.
too,
Holy
so-
crap!
I see
Everyone
you.
is
Right.
freaking the hell out. Now we can get to the other part.
Well, just
So-
be glad that Nakamura's not still grabbing it, or Nakazawa's still not grabbing in his chonies and pulling out his thong and shit, putting it in people's faces. But
well,
like
let's
how
talk
easy
about- let's talk
thing.
about- Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish your point.
Well, what's up? Yeah, this is my complaint for a while now. Is they said, "Oh, we opened up the forbidden door," but it's like, have you? Because not much has really been happening. And yeah, now that Kenny's a triple champion, you'd think that people would be gunning for him, but no, it's just like we don't get much crossover at all. And yeah, I'd like an Impact guy or two or a tag team to come over and really make it feel like, oh shit, the door has been broken open. But no, it
Yeah,
hasn't. It's like,
We'll get to
If
it
anything,
Omega
it's a
later,
screen
but
door.
I feel like the two competitors we'll name later, it's like great choices, but I feel like we kind of need to expand that roster beyond AEW.
Right. So, but like, well, since this was the Moxley match, we'll talk about what's happening next week. You know, I just complained about Mox Lesnar. Stand by my complaints. But we are going to get an IWGP US title match in AEW. The legendary Yuji Nagata will be coming to AEW to try and get the title away from Jon Moxley. For those that don't follow New Japan Pro Wrestling, Nagata's a legend, but like in New Japan, when
Z. Or, I don't know how you say it.
in New Japan, like when you like really get to like a big legendary status, you don't like you kind of go down the card, and your job, like when you get to a certain status, is you go down the card and you help the young people, and that's kind of the role that Nagata's in. He doesn't wrestle in the G1 Climax anymore. He doesn't get like a lot of big Tokyo Dome matches or Wrestle Kingdom matches. He's just kind of usually in the opening multi-man matches to help wrestle and team with the trainees, the Young Lions. It's a system that maybe here in the West we wouldn't enjoy, but it's kind of their system that's over in Japan. And the dog's agreeing with me. So
here, hold on, let me show you.
But that's kind of Yuji Nagata's role. So I had to tell a lot of people that don't really follow New Japan that, you know, like, oh my god, well, if he's a legend, then he should beat Moxley like that, right? I'm like, no, like that's not really how it works. If the best way to compare it is if Yuji Nagata wins, it would be like the equivalent of Billy Gunn beating Darby Allin for the TNT title. Like, that's kind of the level it would be at. And I'm not saying that's like, I mean, like, I'm not saying Nagata winning is a bad thing for New Japan, but I'm saying, like, it's not something that, from the New Japan side of things, I foresee happening. I see this as just kind of another stopgap. If Nagata does win, I'll mark out like a motherfucker, but I don't foresee it happening.
But
From the promo, he looks old too, right?
Oh, he's like in his mid-50s. Like, he was in WCW in the 90s.
He's near the same age as Jericho. If not, like, just a little bit older.
Yeah, it'll be a 5-minute match and Moxley wins.
Well, having said that, though, I still feel like he might get
Michelle
screwed
Bully
over.
Ray's wrong about 90% of things, so like, you know, I'm just throwing that out there. A lot of Bully Ray's hot takes are not so hot.
You know what, man? It's not fair that he gets to. It's not. Well, I don't know. We can talk about it later, I guess. Whatever. Just because he's in the industry or whatever doesn't mean that every single thing he has to say has to be taken at gospel. But people seem to be like, you know what? Unless he says it or approves of it, I'm not going to like it either. But it's like you can like stuff you like.
All right,
You can have your own opinion.
but back to somebody who I do really have a lot of respect for, Yuji Nagata. Finish your thought, Easy.
So yeah, so as I was saying, like, what if like Nagata does win, but it's a way that Moxie actually got screwed over from the title from who else but probably the Elite. It could be Kenny coming out. It
Here's the
could be
one
the
issue I
Bucks.
see with that. Like most of the people like Nagata, like in New Japan, they're very honorable people. You know what I mean? Like that would fly in the face of everything their character would stand for. And I don't think they're gonna have just this dramatic bad guy turn for Nagata for no reason. I
Well,
don't
no,
foresee
Nagata
that
had
happening.
no idea about it. He just like he won the match.
He wouldn't accept the win that way. He would you know, like that is like how honorable like Nagata is. Like if he found out he won that way, he'd be like, I don't accept. You know what I mean? Like Nagata has, other than being rivals with them.
Okay, so I guess in a way, like New Japan, they're not really into the concept where somebody wins because one guy kind of got taken out behind the ref's back.
Well, even if Nagata wins by DQ,
New
he won't
Japan's
win the
into that
title.
concept, but it's like you're part of the bad guy stable. Like
No, he's not part of it.
No, let me finish.
Okay.
Like a honorable hero in Japan wouldn't accept that in any circumstance. But then again, Gato's kind of gone full Western, so I don't know. But I'm thinking, knowing the roots that they have with that character, I don't foresee him just like, oh hey, they screwed Moxley over, and him being like, oh shucks, I won, hooray! You know, I don't really foresee Nagata doing that. The only way to me I see Nagata winning would be clean, and I don't foresee Yuji Nagata beating John Moxley on AEW television. I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, I mean,
we might see an upset.
I'm excited for the principle of the match, but I don't think Nagata's the guy. If it was Kenta, I would be like, oh, dude, Kenta's winning. Or if it was, you know what I mean? If it was something Nagata, not only have I never heard of him, the way that Gig was describing them, the way that I saw the promo or whatever, I'm just not. Yeah, I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah. So next match, this Cody Rhodes versus QT Marshall. I like this match. I was not expecting to like a QT Marshall match, but it was actually a damn fine match. Fine match. Set up's a rival with Anthony's Boxing and Wrestling a Go-Go versus Cody in the future. So
my only gripe with this whole thing was that Cody was going to whip QT, and the ref said, no, go the belt way. And then he threw the belt way. QT grabbed his own belt and whipped Cody in front of the ref, and the ref didn't DQ
That's my only regret.
Yeah,
like something should have happened there, but it is.
And also, the ref looked when he shouldn't have looked. Just literally try to fight QT Marshall. Like, really, we didn't have any disqualification for it.
Right.
Like, Arn Anderson put his hands on Marshall. Marshall should have won it right there. It's like, okay.
Yeah, those are what. I mean, those were not great, but like I like how like this was like, okay, QT lost, but like at the end of the day, like you can tell they're building up to a Go-Go versus Cody.
But they were doing big moves too, which is cool.
Yeah, it was definitely better than any other QT Marshall match I've ever seen in my life. This is definitely I was pleasantly surprised. I'll put it to you that way.
Right. QT's not going to be a star by any means, but this is like a great match. Like, if you're going to show a wrestler a match, or you know what I mean, like this is a good wrestling match. He did one of the big moves. They both made each other look good, whatever. But yeah, it's like, can they end the feud now? And what's QT going to do? He should just be a manager.
Yeah, I think pretty much what he is just going to be a manager. Mm-hmm. And on my tablet, I lost all the previous comments except for Michelle saying yes, that Red Velvet did hold QT. Right? Like, they got to get more consistent with the officiating. But other than that, like I said, pleasantly surprised. But did anybody else lose the rest of the comments because I lost on all of my tablet for some reason?
Michelle.
I don't think any.
Michelle made one point where it's saying nobody from AAA has talked to Kenny either.
No, but they have hyped up the Andrade match.
Oh shit! I was just gonna say we didn't mention that, but maybe we should. It's like Andrade officially challenged Kenny. I don't know if Kenny had officially accepted yet or whatever. If they're going to make that storyline, dude, this is a match that I will pay for.
Not yet, I don't think so. Yeah, that is.
And I hope that Andrade wins. To be honest, it's like, dude, Kenny doesn't need it. Andrade, he could use the rub even more, whatever. But he's a great wrestler. This would be his first official outing of like, hey,
Right.
I'm on
Oh,
the
yeah.
end scene. I'm a badass. Like this is my time.
And the biggest thing that would be awesome about that is, like, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm very, very...
Michelle said, Kenny said he's too busy for Andrade.
Yeah.
But I'm not
What
gonna
a
like
dick.
I'm not very like hip on the lucha scene as much as I probably should be, but
I'm not either, but
But-
apparently
but-
Ray's all about it.
yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, I remember when Andrade was La Sombra, he was with CMLL, and that's the AAA title, and I know AAA and CMLL don't necessarily get along, so, like, it would kind of be a big deal for Andrade to win that title, you know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, I definitely would like to see that happen, but I mean,
I'm down.
I also want to see Yuji Nagata beat Jon Moxley, and I don't really see that happening. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
But either or, what a great match that'll be.
Oh yeah, I want to see it. Definitely want to see it. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD versus Julia Hart. Pretty much just. I mean, I know we say we avoid the insider terms, but it's a squash match. But like, you need some of these because Britt's on the collision course with Shida, and please, dear Lord Jesus, let Britt Baker win.
Yes,
I
please.
fully expect her to win.
Please.
They're kind of alluding it too much. Like at this point, it might feel like Shida wins, and if she does,
I see what you're saying about Michelle saying. I think Kenny will stop collecting or finish collecting before he starts losing. I agree with that. I do think that maybe he'll lose the AEW title before he loses any other title. Because you really don't want because like from that the political standpoint is one of those like, hey, do you really? I don't. Just use this as an example. Do you really want Moose to say he beat the AEW champion? You don't.
well,
You want
Triple
Moose to say that Moose beat the guy who just lost to Hangman Page at Full Gear. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You don't want the.
By the way, his
Right.
contract's actually expiring in June.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Please. I want to like fist pump my arm. I need to hear Moose on AEW.
Moose.
I
It's
saw
like
him twice. at
Thanos
World
got
Series.
3
Like, he's
stones, and
amazing.
then he got beat for him before he can collect all 5
Right.
or whatever.
Next match
Now-
here.
Okay, now this is just fantasy booking here because obviously this would never happen in our lives. What if Kenny invaded WWE with his belts?
I would mark out. You would have a lot of people going, "Who the hell is that? And what are those belts?"
That's the only reason why I'd watch Raw.
I would watch Raw if Kenny did that, though. Yeah, and I'm not saying that like as a knock on Kenny, but like a lot of the WWE people, like they only watch WWE. You know what I mean?
Well, actually,
They would only let him win the Raw one, too. They wouldn't let him beat Roman, but they would let him beat whoever the Raw.
Like Lashley,
actually,
he'll beat
forget the
Lashley.
WWE belts. What if he went to NXT?
That would be sweet, actually. But
But that's too.
They're like, we beat
yeah,
you guys
that's
on
kinda like-
Wednesday nights. Now I'm about to take your title.
Triple H wouldn't have it because he's like, this is my show, but you can have Raw. It's fine. No one
right,
gives a shit.
yeah, Raw. No one actually
You can
likes
have Raw.
Raw.
Nobody watches
Raw,
Raw.
Raw is
Really
the
no one
Raw
really.
is the McDonald's of wrestling TV shows. Like it exists. Like it exists. It's not going away, and there are people that will always like it because it's McDonald's. It's like it's an
Right.
institution.
So
But
does that make SmackDown Burger King and NXT Wendy's?
yes,
Well, no.
because that is the
no.
hierarchy. Because I like
Raw-
Burger King, but not all the time. And Wendy's is just best fast food ever.
Yes.
But Raw is McDonald's at the 2 a.m. shift when they're out of beef and their ice cream machine doesn't work, and so all you can order really is just like fries and chicken nuggets, and it's like, man, like really still come here. But it's like the last stop you have, and that's what Raw is. SmackDown is McDonald's at any hour before that, where it's like, damn, this is pretty good.
And then would
It's okay.
AEW be Five Guys?
Yes. AEW would be five. It'd be Five Guys and Chick-fil-A and
No,
Jimmy John's.
Get that Chick-fil-A out of this garbage. Fuck them.
I enjoy. I enjoy the
I
the sauce and the sandwiches, but okay, Popeyes, we'll go there because there's not really a bad chicken
Fine,
place as
fine.
long as it's not KFC. There's not really a bad chicken place in the
I said,
world.
wait, no. Raising Cane's. Raising Cane's.
Never heard of it.
Oh. Once they finally go to St. Louis, it's the best chicken you'll ever have. And you'll be like, what's a Popeye?
Well,
It's a Chick-fil-A.
You're in Chicago. Don't they have was it
No, we
Portillo's?
have
Like, over?
Raising Cane's locations in Cleveland, where I currently reside because I can't go back to Canada.
Not allowed, or what? You got banned.
God damned. All right, anyway, so we got to get back to...
Sorry for the fast food talk, everybody.
back to the show. 4-way tag team eliminator match. SCU, Jurassic Express, Varsity Blondes, and the Acclaimed. I'm sorry, Acclaimed. I don't get the Acclaimed.
I love them. Dude,
Max Caster's
come on.
rapping is just amazing.
Max Caster's awesome. Love it.
1% of people who love his rapping.
And dude, my brother-in-law fucking hates him. It makes me love it even more because every time he comes out, my brother-in-law just goes to my sister, who doesn't give a shit. Well, my sister doesn't give a shit anyway, and she's just on her phone anyway. He turns over every time and just goes, "Oh, it's just like John Cena. John Cena just does this all the time." I go, but dude, that was 15 years ago. Get over it. But so that means no one else can do it. That means no one else can be bald with goatee because Stone Cold did it in the 90s. Like, get real, dude. Like,
I don't know. I'm not completely sold on
Max Caster literally said in his raps that people were calling him like a John Cena wannabe. Literally he's like on AEW name drops John Cena.
But anyway, they are good. They're just traditional tag team, not flashy.
I will give them that. Like at least they're like a tag team and not like here's fucking two singles guys.
They draw in people why people should boo at them.
To me, like the best thing
I'm on board.
The thing I enjoyed the most about this match was Brian Pillman Jr. Just don't talk about somebody.
No, but that's the thing too.
With a fucking
my brother-in-law hates that too.
But other than that,
my brother-in-law goes, the Varsity Blondes, that's dumb because it's like the Hollywood ones. I go, yeah, but you know that was his dad and shit. Like, you know,
and then
like
Caster
if
literally
we're gonna start picking for stuff.
And then Caster literally saying, in 10 years, you'll be on Dark Side of the Ring. Like, I was like, I literally went, like, literally at the TV. Because I know Vice just released their episode about Pillman. And it's like, saying that right in front of Pillman Jr. is like, oh, you really know how to strike the notes.
That was a good episode. Yeah.
This is just kind of a match that was there, but like the thing that I took the most out of this was Junior's upside, and you know it's very timely. But you know he's really, I mean he's kind of like what's their names? Top Flight. Top Flight. They're kind of in the whole like they're not, you know. They're young and they still got a lot of growing to do, but like once they grow, you could have some big things. SCU wins, leading.
Yeah, all these guys losing protected them because SCU going on to face the Bucks.
And what could be the final stand of SCU and probably will be the final stand of SCU. Now
end of CU.
Yeah. Oh, and we also forgot earlier. Forgot to mention that. Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page beat the absolute shit out of Darby Allin and kicked him downstairs and such. So there was that. There was that. Well, that's bleeding. The ramifications of that are bleeding into this next announcement. Well, first of all, start off with, and this is kind of the Bully Ray thing that Michelle was alluding to in chat. So Kenny comes out and. Nakazawa is wearing all of the other belts, and Bully Ray got, like, butthurt about this. Because he's like,
Kenny, first of all, wait, just really quick. Kenny's promo is my favorite because he goes, are you guys ready to see blood and guts? And then the fans go crazy, and he goes, are you ready to see an exciting match called Blood and Guts? And I'm like, Kenny, I think, do you have a concussion right now? Like, what the hell happened?
No, and then he's like, yeah, I don't care either.
But anyway, that was my only note from the promo.
It was a really good promo. I really hope that, Orange Cassidy beats Pac for number one contendership because I really want to see Orange Cassidy versus Kenny Omega for the title at
Did
Double or
I
Nothing.
literally predict this
Yes,
a
you did.
few weeks ago?
You did. I'm happy about this.
Like they're listening to me. This is
And
why
what
I
does
would
Bully Ray
be
have to
amazing
say?
as an AEW
Well,
general
okay,
manager.
okay. So now we're gonna shit on Bully Ray because it's kind of fun because we gotta in another chat pretty much like suck his. I'm gonna stop.
This
No,
is why I'm a Devon person.
Yeah, I like Devon.
Yeah, what did Devon say? That's what I'm gonna say next time.
What Devon think about it?
Yeah, but what did Devon say? That's a great comeback for that.
Testify.
But
I always like Devon better.
So Bully Ray basically put on his Twitter that if he was Impact, he would cease this relationship with AEW and be pissed because Kenny Mega's supposed to represent the Impact Championship with pride, and he's having Michael Naka-Nobody come out with it.
No,
And
shut
I'm
the
like-
fuck up. But he's a heel.
Exactly. I'm like, hey,
He's
Bully.
a bad guy.
Hey,
I mean,
Bully.
you were a bad guy before.
How dare a bad guy heel disrespect the title?
Hey, Bully, how butthurt were you when Paul Heyman carried the title for Brock Lesnar? Were you bitching about that? No, you were fucking talking about how cool it was because that's WWE. That's the next person that's going to give you a goddamn job, and Paul Heyman's your fucking boy. Like,
I mean, how Don Callis was like holding the titles a lot.
yeah, so
So it's like you're not pissed about that?
A valet. It's basically a valet. Like, here, you hold my belt. I don't have a problem with that.
How does that one and Brian and sorry, not Brian.
but
Brandon Cutler, they've just basically been the stooges for the elite. So of
Yeah.
course they're gonna carry everything.
they
for them.
are the Patterson and Briscoe of the elite, essentially.
Mhm.
But it's like Bully Ray.
That's
Bully
a
Ray just
stupid-
wants, when it comes to AEW, Bully Ray just like wants to find something to bitch about because.
That's Bully Ray going, we have a show on Monday and we need ratings, so I'm just going to be the contrarian and be like, he's holding the belt for him. I don't like that. That's a padding ass filler argument because really?
Yeah. And because the Elite leaving basically exposed Bully Ray for like having shitty ideas in Ring of Honor, as we saw, all three of us saw at Madison Square Garden, and just how garbage it was. Oh, hey, we don't want the Elite here anymore, and we don't want to work with AEW, but goddamn Enzo and Cass, they're coming.
Oh, okay. By the way, guys, AEW was #1 on cable for the first time yesterday.
Yeah, I sent
According
that
to
to
Brian
the,
Alvarez.
I sent that to the chat, but we're not done. We're
I
not
didn't see
we're
that.
not to that point yet. We got to talk about a main event right now. Blood and Guts, the match, the man, the myth, the legend, or the match, the myth, the legend. War Games done correctly.
Well, wait. They also had 2 rings the entire night, which is kind of cool because they utilized it.
Well, that's what they did in when they would
That's
have.
what they did for NXT War Games.
That's what they do.
But that meant like every match had like that 2 ring stipulation, which was kind of crazy because normally they just use one side.
Jim Crockett.
I was actually kind of waiting for one match to go like, hey, we're gonna hop in one ring and then hop in the other. It's like, I don't know, just have some fun with it.
Jim Crockett Promotions would always have that stipulation with WCW
And
too.
it was at Daly's place, which we all took a guess about if they were going to have a change of venue or whatever. They could do it at Daly's place, apparently.
No, I think they basically just got rid of like the lower. Sorry, they just got rid of the lower bowl seating.
And they had full fans of some, right?
This
is a great.
Full fans are going to happen at Double or Nothing, but match itself.
That whole you can immediately that was one thing we didn't talk about because from minute 1 of the show with the full fans or whatever, it had a completely different vibe from the fake tune-in noise you get on Raw and like the whatever. It felt real. It felt dark. It felt gritty. The wrestlers were reacting during their promos to the fans and stuff like they should be doing.
Even for a small crowd at Daly's place, you could still hear the chants.
Right.
Yeah, it was cool, man. I dug it. But all that stuff played into the main event too, where it's like it was an accumulation of it. But holy crap, you can that's one thing we didn't talk about. Whatever, you can feel the environment. You can add that ambient, that live crowd ambience. You cannot replicate with the fucking
Thunderdome. You know.
Yeah.
But match itself, like, the one thing I've always said about NXT War Games is they're decent matches, but they're not War Games. Like, War Games, there's no roof to the cage where you get disqualified for leaving in War Games. There's just no escape. It's submit or surrender, and that part I like the most. Like, that, like, obviously having Cody, whose dad invented fucking War Games in the company, and having Cody and Dustin. So, like, the people who understand War Games the most are, like, in your company, so that's good.
You think Cody was bummed that he got to miss out on this?
Possibly, but, I mean, it's a trope they can go back to at any point in time, so
he was on the show, but, he was like, man.
Well, but you remember originally it was supposed to be the Elite versus the Inner Circle, and then just things
That's what I'm
changed.
saying.
Yeah, so, I mean, I guess it was...
but
Pandemic ruined everything.
But especially, like you're saying, with his dad leading the lineage on the whole thing.
Well, but on the flip side of this, with, like, Cody and Dustin probably, too, down the road whenever, especially if it ends up being, like, the two factions they have now going into Blood and Guts at some point, that's going to be, like, a big deal to have the Rhodes family in War Games without being able to be called War Games. So, okay, this match was a mixed bag and a half to me. There was a lot of things I liked about it. I thought, other than a few really bad botches, Sammy looked great. I like
that one ring jump.
Yeah, that one ring. But, like, the Spanish Fly was good.
Yeah.
Like, I really liked... Like I said, AEW understood the concept of it. They understood everything. I liked
the match itself.
I only had one complaint.
Amazing. This is exactly what we wanted.
Two. I had two complaints.
War.
Well, here's like I thought the finish was great. Like, I thought, like, that was a good finish. Like, because originally War Games Blood and Guts was just a way for the it was essentially a way that you could have the Horsemen get the fuck beat out of them, and then, but still keep all their belts. But everybody could be happy because they got to see Flair, Arn, Tully, JJ, and Lex or Barry Windham, whichever one of them was in the Horsemen at the time, get the absolute shit beat out of them by Dusty, Sting, the Road Warriors, and Paul Ellering. Like, that was a way... It's a way that Flair could stay champion, Arn and Tully could stay champion, and Barry Windham could stay champion, but still get the fuck beat out of them by all the good guys. And I thought this was a good... they did the ending of the match was really, really well done because, if you're going to have the bad guys win, you got to do it in a sneak, like in a way like this. They can't just dominate like what the good guys would in War Games. You got to, weasel your way into it. My problem is AEW still needs to learn how to fucking shoot. Like, this whole thing. Like, I'm fine with the fact they used a crash pad. Like, that's fine. I'm not mad about them using a crash pad and using a set. WWE does it. Any wrestling promotion that gives a fuck about the well-being.
Every wrestling.
Well, I'm not saying there's some independent promotions that don't, but that we'll skip that. But, like, any wrestling promotion that knows anything and, like, cares about their talent, absolutely. But for the love of God, people, don't shoot the cardboard metal. Don't shoot the crash pad. Find a camera angle that doesn't do that. Like, come on. Like, this is fucking... You've been doing this for 3 goddamn years now. Stop!
Well, first of all, I agree with Michelle because she says the only complaint is the fans complaining. Because honestly,
it's like
we were all there for.
You want to watch Chris Jericho die?
Well, no, but all 3 of us.
I agree with Michelle now. It's like, yeah.
Wait. All 3 of us, me, Eli, me, the Geek, and Easy, we're at WrestleMania for Shane and The Miz when they did a big spot, equivalent probably for the drop, and on equally as goofy looking boxes or whatever for a landing pad. Nobody said shit. And if anything, they're complaining just that Shane had a match on the card, but it was like no one was like, "Oh,
I didn't even
but the boxes were covered with that black felt, carpet," or no one was complaining that like, "Oh, but it wasn't realistic enough," or no one was complaining that like whatever. So that when they did the spot, my first complaint wasn't that oh, it looks fake or oh, it looks, because obviously it is. Like, what the fuck? What are we? Come on,
like, I just feel like it could have been been very easily. It could have shot that from some kind of angle where it's like, oh hey, let's not. Okay.
Michelle's asking whether this was a network decision to make sure the landing was safe because you don't want somebody killed on set. It's like,
Oh, maybe because it is on TV
I don't really know
too.
why TNT would want to interfere.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, but getting to my next point, interference from TNT.
but wait,
like there could have been some like shots of like, oh god, oh my, oh dear lord, and it's like, but we all know he's okay.
But when Jericho first hit, and then they kind of showed one of the first metal plates that he hit, whatever, kind of looked like cardboardy. It hung for longer than people remember than it actually did. Because it was probably like 3 seconds, but people were thinking it was 15 seconds. And then they did change the angle to up top or they whatever. And I was like, oh shit, I noticed it. But because it lingered for that long of a second. But go back to year one. Remember how bad the goddamn angles were in year one, where it was like every episode they would do a flip and then they like right before the landing they would switch the angle to something else, and I was like, what are you doing, you guys?
Yeah, like this.
I just thought of probably maybe a much better ending. Be like, instead of MJF throwing Chris Jericho off, be like, yeah, I'm not gonna throw him. Why not instead he actually puts him through the cage and him plummeting to the ring? That probably would have been more heelish and more, holy shit, he just tried to kill Jericho just after they surrendered. I think that probably would have been a lot better. Now,
well, wait, that was
this was probably safer though.
Probably.
Well, that was my other.
I have no complaints with the splash pad. I'm just like, quick cut some shit like WWE when they like just don't focus on the crash pad so long. Like. A lot is a lot of drama is seen in what cannot be seen. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you don't.
Actually, what if they?
When you don't see somebody get like in the horror movie, when you don't see them get brutally murdered, you're like, oh, that's terrifying. Like, just like if they would have just like kind of like saw like, oh god, he's in there, and they didn't show anything else, then it's like, oh my god. Like,
but what do you gotta have a drawn graphic like on Mythbusters where it goes a 55-year-old man jumps from a 20-foot-year-old or a 20-foot drop onto a padding? It's like, does that make it more extreme? Do you know that it's a stunt? Do you think it's more badass that it's real?
Right.
It's pro wrestling, by the way. But at the same time,
Michelle's got a point. It would be compared to Mankind Taker.
Yeah. And that'd be a lot more unsafe. But
I agree with Michelle really quick. Just really quick. I agree with Michelle just because of the fans tripping out, whatever. I agree with Easy because my finish would have been throw Jericho off the thing and then everyone surrenders because we all knew it was going to happen anyway.
No. I don't like that. I don't like the idea of him getting thrown off and then everybody surrendering because like. Then it's like...
Well, because Sammy goes, we surrender, don't do it. But it's like, they went up the cage, everyone knew the spot was coming,
Well, but I mean, like...
My only gripe was, like, throw him off the cage, and then they're like, shit, what else do we do? Our main guy is down. Okay, we give in the towel. But it's like, we were waiting for the spot.
I don't... Because to me, it would be like, oh, fuck, they hurt our friend. Well,
no, because...
assholes, I'm gonna fucking go down there, I'm gonna climb up this cage myself, and I'm gonna throw you off of a higher building because fuck you for hurting our friend. Like, that wouldn't be that would inspire me to fucking go like, well, fuck this piece of shit.
This is where a lot of the complaints are coming from, too, because it's like just like the death match, where the match was over, but they still decided to do last Raw, but it didn't live up to everyone's expectation. This was a perfect, like how we were saying, they had to win the big game on this one, which, in my opinion, they did.
They won the big game. They're just like, after the big game, they kind of like said, like, oh, well, but they still tried to do the big spot that now everyone's saying, oh, it didn't land again. Game, but they showed the fact that they didn't have the actual trophy. They had it was a fake trophy for this one.
But it's like, just imagine Jericho falling off the thing, landing, and then the bell ringing because they're like, oh shit, they surrender. They lose instead of we surrender and then anyway, whatever. But well, the other reason I like this finish is like there was a similar finish done in '97 with the NWO versus the Horsemen. It was like. But my last gripe too, my last complaint, really quick, is it should have been pay-per-view. Yes. Because they go, we're going to commercial play-by-play.
Yeah, my only complaint with this match was too many freaking commercials. There was
Commercials.
literally
But then they
four
come back
commercials
from
in
a
this whole
commercial,
match.
and
It's
the
like,
whole ring is ripped up,
why?
and it's like, wait, what happened? What did I miss?
Yeah, like whoa,
I know.
whoa.
There was literally at one point they were ripping the ring apart. It's like, wait, I didn't see that.
yeah.
This is my this was my favorite. I don't know if it happened on.
Over there,
I
they
don't know
were
if this
watching to
happened on
watch
all
this.
yours, but like, so it was picture in picture, and I'm watching it, and then I lose picture in picture to find out that the Hunger Games is gonna be on TNT, and it's like, well, thank God that got fucking full screen.
I don't give two fucks about the Hunger Games. I'm not in high school anymore. That's when I did give a fuck, but that's beside the point.
But like I said, like overall, like I enjoyed the match. It was well done. I thought the finish was great. I just wish they wouldn't have just like blatantly showed.
You know what?
Don't blatantly show the cardboard. Don't be like WWE because like just don't do that.
Otherwise, everyone's gonna complain about the exploding death match again.
Yeah. So like
Yeah.
everything is like everything
But-
like and I even said this to somebody on Twitter who was like bitching about it. They're like, oh, we're I'm like so like whenever Matt Hardy
So,
fell
like,
and
yay
concussed,
for fights.
when Matt Hardy fell and concussed himself, you bitched about, them being unsafe, but then now that it's, they did it safely,
The
you're
playing
bitching
field,
about it
it's like,
too.
oh,
You're bitching about it too. Like, I agree, it shouldn't have been shot that way. Like seriously, like, don't shoot it that way. It's not that difficult. Don't shoot it that way.
But
like, fucking, it's a crash pad.
I do
Yeah,
agree
but
with Eric
what I
that
say
this
too. It's like,
should
if you're
have been
looking
a
for-
pay-per-view match. I wouldn't mind
Yeah.
waiting for this for Double or Nothing.
Yeah, this should have been a double or
would've-
nothing. This should not have been on
That
TV.
would have been like the best, like, penultimate main event match.
Yeah.
Or
even
hell, the main event in
or
general.
even the main
actually.
event. Yeah, I mean, like, you don't want to discredit the world title, but I mean,
Yeah.
fuck.
And like last year's main event, it was the freaking Stadium Stampede.
Yeah.
And that was actually amazing.
Yep. And one small, this is a nitpick, but it's like, I feel like this spot's been played out in War Games now, because they never used to do this. And they've done it in every NXT War Games match, and they did it in this one, and it just made me roll my eyes. I am 100, this is a trope in Blood and Guts, War Games, everything that I am completely over. I am so fucking sick and tired of, we're all in the ring. Now we're gonna stare each other the fuck down and we're gonna sprint at ya. Stop that. Stop that. Like, War Games did great for 20 years before that ever happened, and they don't need, they did it like one time in WWE would be fine, and stop it. Like, I'm so done with that part of the match. Like, that is, I'm over that. It's a nitpick, but it's just like, if they do another one of these, please don't do that spot. Please. It didn't ruin the match, but just stop that. Stop that.
So what's next? An Inferno match?
I mean, I don't know, but
We've had exploding
well,
barbed
there's
wire,
something to
we've
match
had
what we're
blood
gonna have a double or
red, so
nothing. Like
what's
double or
next?
nothing, like they still haven't really built up anything for double or nothing, which I feel like, I'm not saying it's gonna be a bad card, but like, remember how a month ago we were saying like we're 3 weeks out from WrestleMania and they don't have anything truly really built up yet? I mean,
Then
we're
the week
in the
out,
same
they were like,
boat.
wait, Mania's happening?
I mean, it's not quite as bad as WWE, but still, it's like, I guess I expected them to have a few more things in place, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll definitely see.
Kenny Omega is going to be fighting Pac or Cassidy.
I mean, that's
That's
gonna be
gonna
cool.
Wait, when's Double or Nothing though? August?
Memorial Day.
Memorial Day, or Memorial Day Sunday, not the day before Memorial Day. So
Because let's compete with the Indy 500 and NASCAR. Sorry, that's just me.
Memorial
Day,
I
August.
am not knocking either one of them, but I'm thinking that there's not a lot of as much crossover appeal that's gonna say let's not go to Double or Nothing if they already planned on going to Double or Nothing. You know what I mean?
I mean, the one big announcement is like, hey, we're going to have a full crowd. It's like, cool. Just don't look like idiots like Mania did with people.
Well, I was supposed to go to Double or Nothing last year. They canceled it, and then
No, they didn't cancel Double or Nothing.
No, they just had to move
Yes.
it. So now we got to wait until
For
2022 until Vegas can finally get their IOU.
Right. Hey, I don't want to hear about
But-
Vegas getting an IOU. St. Louis has been waiting for Dynamite for a long time. A long
Yeah.
time.
Actually, you know what? On the bright side, maybe we might see Double or Nothing 2022 at the T-Mobile Arena instead of the MGM Grand Garden. Because at that point, AEW is going to be growing to a much bigger following soon.
It's going to grow into, but remember, there's also the issue of money. You know, it's easier to book those.
They've got money. Tony Khan's worth $1 billion.
But it's easier to make enough money to where you make money. You book that building, which is MGM Grand Garden, which is a big building. Sell that out, then you can pay your talent more. You know what I mean? WCW booked the MGM Grand Garden for Halloween Havoc. I don't think that, I don't see that as a bad building for.
Well, that was basically their main arena for 20-something years before Vegas got a
NASCAR
brand new
goes
one.
fast, Michelle. A NASCAR goes fast. And
Stock car racing, look it up.
Look it up.
By the way, I love their next gen cars. Just want to point
they
it
look
out
great. They look great. They're great cars. That's pretty much the show this week. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Definitely excited for next week. And also next week, the show will be on its normal time slot next week. But next week, I've said next week so many times, I'll be going to Indianapolis for Squared Circle Expo next Friday, Saturday. I'll be over there. So if anybody watching this is going to be in Indianapolis for that convention,
actually, dude,
come say hi.
Dude, the Grand Prix of Indianapolis is going to be next week. You got to go to that.
I'm going home. I'm going home to that one.
Damn it. The race is on the Saturday. Damn it.
Yeah, I'm not missing meeting Kane and Dustin Rhodes to see IndyCar. I don't like IndyCar that much. I don't like it that much. But
this is what happens when you hire a racer for this show.
But I might go to the one.
Ha. Thanks, Michelle.
But thank you all for joining us. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, share, subscribe for more content, not just from the world of pro wrestling, but from the world of comic books, gaming, anime, and all things geek culture. Definitely check out some of the Geeking Out podcast episodes. This week I'm doing a watch-along, part 1 of 2 of a watch-along for the WrestleCon Super Show with the New Japan Fifth Beatle there, Charloco. We went to that show together during Mania Weekend 2019, and also definitely check out the Graham Bell episode. Really proud of getting to have him on the Geeking Out podcast. He's a great wrestler, really making a name for himself in independent wrestling. And also, it is Amalgam May on Collection Comic of the Week. If you want to know what an Amalgam comic is, check it out and see how hard you roll your eyes. Easy, you got anything to promote?
Guys, just follow me on social at Eric Zarins. I chat all the time on there. And if you're also a fan of motor racing from the world of NASCAR, Michelle, IndyCar, Formula One, and everything else, follow the Racers blog. I do a lot of live tweeting on races in general. This weekend, we got the Portuguese Grand Prix and Formula One. And we also got NASCAR going throwback at Darlington, which that's gonna be so much fun. But I'm gonna be working though. But you know what? I'm still gonna be keeping up with the results though. But yeah, and also shout out to the Podcast Wrestling Federation. Those guys are amazing. So just go check them out. And yeah, just play it safe, everybody. We're slowly but surely getting better.
Yep. Eric, you got anything for sale on Macari?
Everything's for sale. Go look.
Go look and buy from Eric. He's trying to downsize. He's moving. But for Eric Wade and EZ, I am the Athletic Geek. We're just marks and we're out. Have a good one.
Good night.
I got a message right now from the guy. He's